Good Wednesday, everyone, and thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, your source for weather information for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and this is the daily video forecast discussion for this Wednesday, the 4th of December, 2013. Waking up weather this morning, just before sunrise here at 6 a.m. Temperatures are in the low to the mid 30s across northwestern New Jersey and portions of the Hudson Valley into portions of interior Connecticut. And temperatures are rising precipitably through the mid 30s to around 40 now in the New York, Newark area this morning. And temperatures elsewhere basically in the 30s. And dew points this morning are not that bad. They're generally running in the upper 20s to low and mid 30s, and that makes the relative humidity values a little bit higher this morning as well. We do have light and variable winds throughout the region this morning. There's quite a bit of fog too, and especially in areas of northwestern New Jersey and some of the valleys up here in the Poconos. Some freezing fog up here in southeastern New York, up the Hudson River Valley into portions of Connecticut. Basically just cloudy skies throughout many areas in northern New Jersey and in the Poconos and southeastern New York. Broken clouds and to clear skies out in the Connecticut River Valley. Also portions of the east end of Long Island. Central and southern New Jersey has some clear skies as well, but there's still a little bit of fog out there today, especially across southeastern Pennsylvania and also into interior portions of central and southern New Jersey. Temperatures this morning are once again rising from the mid 30s to around 40, and temperatures already rising this morning with some of those broken clouds here across the Delaware River Valley to the upper 30s to around 40 as well. And we have a little bit of precipitation, probably not reaching the ground too much, but there is some freezing fog up here near Binghamton and also portions of the lower Hudson Valley region into interior Connecticut this morning. Most of this precipitation very light as a weak shortwave passes through. The only advisories we have is a coastal flood statement until 10 o'clock this morning for Queens, Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, Staten Island, Bronx, and the boroughs here outside of New York City for high astronomical high tides. So it may wash over this morning across these low-lying areas until 10 o'clock when the high tide cycle is over. We have no other watches, warnings, or advisories, but small craft advisories probably going to be going up in these regions here along the South Shore and East Ends of Long Island, and also the New Jersey coastal waters for later Thursday night, and possibly even extended into the weekend. Morning surface chart this morning from weatherowandoak.com, and digital atmosphere software shows the high pressure ridge basically offshore now, and low pressure developing across the central plains heading up towards the Great Lakes with a couple of frontal boundaries here. A warm front approaching the region later this afternoon and tonight. A secondary warm front pushing a surge of moisture with this area of low pressure here developing over the Midwest. So we'll be pushing the warm front closer and through the area during the day on Thursday, followed by the cold frontal passage during the day on Friday, particularly later Friday and Friday evening. Some broken clouds this morning, some fog too. We'll get to that in the aviational section in just a moment. We do have some areas of fog this morning. Morristown Airport's at 30. There is fog, 1,100 feet broken ceilings there. We also have a little bit of fog with 5 miles visibility at Caldwell, overcast at 10,000. This morning visibility is at 5, temperature 34. We have some freezing fog up at the Hudson Valley at Newburgh at Stewart, temperature 30, fog there, visibility 3 miles, 200 is the ceiling right there. And all these areas will be improving after sunrise this morning. We have a little bit of low and mid-level clouds across the region, light and variable winds. Overcast conditions currently at Newark, temperature 37. With a few clouds at 11,000, broken at 15,000. Some scattered clouds throughout the morning and afternoon hours, broken clouds at 10,000. Going to be a nice day today, mild too. Temperatures getting back up into the 50s, which is unseasonably mild, even lower 60s across the Delmarva region. Not out of the question again today. And then for late this afternoon into early this evening, the winds are going to be very light. Better visibility is better than 10 miles with some scattered clouds at 10,000, broken at 2,500. And then later tonight, clouds come back into the region into the early morning hours tomorrow with a light southeast wind, a variable wind speed and direction too. Visibility is better than lowering a little bit to below 5 miles in the vicinity of any showers or drizzle that will develop across the terminals late tonight and tomorrow morning. Light rain or light drizzle overcast conditions at about 1,000 feet or less, and some fog. But generally VFR conditions outside of IFR or MVFR conditions late tonight and tomorrow morning in that drizzle and low cloud. NamWRF composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State's eWall site shows the low clouds about the region this morning and the mid-level clouds too. I'll get some breaks of sunshine here today. The NAM is a little cooler due to an onshore flow and light and variable winds coming in from off the ocean. There's a smattering of clear skies and amidst the broken to scattered cloud cover throughout the region. Then clouds really do begin to increase with isentropic lift ahead of this low pressure area. This area going into the Great Lakes with a warm front and isentropic lifting going on. So an increase in the mid and high level cloud cover throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening. And then clouds really predominate pretty much overnight tonight into early Thursday morning. With some of that lifting, we could find some very light rain or some very light drizzle. The atmosphere is pretty dry in the lower levels, but the moisture is increasing in the mid and upper levels. So there will probably be some light drizzle or some light rain that makes it to the ground. And what's interesting as we go through the day, during the day on Thursdays, still see a lot of clouds, a few showers or very light sprinkles, maybe even possibly some fog and drizzle across the terminals in the morning. And then a cold front is going to be approaching during the late afternoon. Maybe the NAM's bringing it in a little faster. And as that cold front comes through, could find just a little bit of light rain making it into the terminals during Friday morning as the cold front nears the region, and some of those showers predominantly on the light side. The thing that is predominant here is as the cold front passes, the thickness levels begin to drop down. Now the Arctic air mass, the freezing thicknesses are back here through the Great Lakes. The Arctic air mass is back here through the western Great Lakes. And what's going to happen here is that another area of low pressure and the rapid southwest flow is going to move rapidly up through the Tennessee and Mississippi River Valley and head up towards the St. Lawrence Valley with possibly a redevelopment along the New Jersey coastal waters late in the weekend. But for Saturday, this area of low pressure here coming in for Friday night and Saturday means that some of the precipitation will again be in the form of rain, possibly some freezing precipitation back through Pennsylvania. And as the colder air mass works its way eastbound, some of this precipitation could end or change back to snow basically before ending very late Friday night and early Saturday morning. But the air would be relatively dry around here during Saturday night, and early Sunday with a break. And then that's where things get really interesting again for Sunday night into early Monday. Latest GFS forecast from the Weather Center at meteocenter.com in Canada shows the ridge of high pressure over the top of us now. This is a look at the mean sea level pressure precipitation type, with rain being green and blue being basically snow. Yellow would be an ice mixture, and pink as well would be an ice to sleet mixture. The things that stand out here is the pattern is very progressive over the next 6 to 10 days, so we're not really going to find any true blocking patterns here. There's nothing really to keep the Arctic high in place here with this new high here up in the upper Midwest as this works its way east over the next couple of days into the weekend. There's nothing really to keep it locked in, so precipitation types are going to vary with some wintry precipitation at the onset changing over to rain. Now the GFS has really been leaning towards a warmer solution with an inland low, very little of a transfer to the coast. The European model still sees somewhat of a transfer to the coast, and we're just going to see which one works out. But we know that some wintry precipitation, at least for portions of the area, including some impacts with ice and snow, will be in the offing, especially later Sunday night and early Monday morning, especially over the Poconos, northwestern New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley area. Details are still very unclear. If we take a look at the map going into motion, if we can do that here, first we have to start the map, and let's move it ahead. And right now, this area of low pressure, this is what we're watching with the Arctic front coming through for Saturday morning. Very, very mild air, winds onshore, low clouds and fog late tonight and tomorrow morning. More clouds than sun. Basically, tomorrow's a pretty cloudy day, very mild day too. And here comes the cold front with the wave of low pressure along it, and rain showers move through the region as the front kind of moves through at a slower pace because of all these short waves in the mix here. These little rumbles here on the map here mean that the front's probably going to slow up its eastward progression on Friday night and early Saturday morning. Now, most of Saturday should be dry, but if we get through Friday here, some of the precipitation could change back to snow or a little bit of ice on the tail end of it Friday night, and then that wave of low pressure clears out. Look at this. High pressure builds in across the region, and especially northern New England, but there's no real blocking signatures here up in Canada to slow this or keep this down. Even though we have some cold air damming, Sunday afternoon or even Sunday morning could begin once again with precipitation developing in the form of snow across the interior, maybe a little bit of ice here in the Delmarva, rain and a little bit of ice along the central coastal regions, most of that turning over to rain as the area of low pressure then moves up towards the River Valley, St. Lawrence River Valley, with somewhat of a secondary development developing somewhere here off the mid-Atlantic coast or southern New England coast during the day on early Monday morning, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. And then that moves through, and then high pressure is in control of the region with a moderating trend or near seasonable temperatures anyway for the early to the middle part of next week. Now, what's interesting here is that another wave of low pressure develops on the southern flank of this boundary here in the Gulf, and then heads up towards a transfer to off the mid-Atlantic coast states late next week. Just don't know if the atmosphere is going to be supportive enough for any frozen precipitation, even though the model's showing a little bit of that here. So the trend here, basically, as we go through the forecast period, is that the weather is going to be very progressive with a few wintry episodes in between. We'll still monitor the period Sunday late into early Monday morning for exact locations, watches, warnings, and advisories. So that'll do it for today on Wednesday. Don't forget live feeds and Facebook and Twitter, all that stuff on our both sites, Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com. I'm forecast Robert Smith. Make it a good Wednesday. We'll see you bright and early on Thursday.